What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to show you guys an easy way to transform an area from this into this. Let's get straight into it, guys. Let's do this. Alright guys, so this here is the little area that we're going to be transforming. I've already removed all the grass and I've used that somewhere else. Now the garden edging that we're going to be using is this one right here. So it's just a little metal face from tough edge right there. Now this one here is super easy to use, costs about $60 for 2 pieces. Each piece is about 2 meters in length and you can cut that however you need to. Now with this one here, once you cut it, you can actually join the 2 pieces. So we've got a little joiner here. So if you've got a big garden bed that's running at say 4 meters, you can put 2 pieces together, have that one there, one on the other side, and that's simply nice and easy to join. Now once again, you can also make a return or a corner, slide in the little corner piece, put it on the other side as well, and they're also color coded. So with the garden edging, you can sit it up above the ground like that, so you can have a nice exposed face. You can sit it completely down level with the ground, so that all you've got is just a top section here to separate the two. That way you can create a nice little line with your line trimmer along the edge, and that'll give you a nice clean finish. In my case, I might actually have it half in, half out. And with these ones here, they come with little brackets and pegs, so you actually have to buy the pegs separately. 300mm stakes, and they come with a few different brackets. So I think they come with about 4 brackets that you can peg into the ground. I've purchased a couple extra ones to pin them all into place, but they're also very easy to use. I'll take one out and show you guys. Alright, so these are the little brackets. They slide on the base of the track like this. You get a peg and just simply drive that straight through, and that's going to hold everything into place. So what I'm going to do now is just measure up the distance for my width, so I know exactly how much to cut my return. I think from memory it was about, from there to here was about 710, and all the way across here was about 3300, so I might actually get away with just 2 pieces, but I'll quickly measure that up and then I'll show you guys how to cut it. So to cut the garden edging down to size is actually pretty simple. We're going to be using a hacksaw and a miter box, so nice and easy for anyone to do at home themselves. I've already measured up my return, which is 710 millimeters, so it's going to be nice and simple. That's exactly going to be 2 pieces for me, so I'm going to mark this one here up at 710. We're going to drop this one here into our miter box, and we're just going to cut the face of it straight down the middle. Once that's done, we've got a nice clean cut ready to go. So now we can take the piece that we've cut, drop in our corner, same thing on the other side, and we can drop that one there into place temporarily. Now we're going to line everything up, level it out as we need to, then we'll drop in our little brackets and peg that all into place. I'll go across now and create my joint. So for our joint, we're going to use our little joining bracket here that comes into the kit. Slide that one there across halfway. Same thing on the other side. Try and center them as much as possible. And that one there is also ready to go. So we're going to start dropping in our brackets now and temporarily start marking everything out. So we're going to start off on this side here because we already know our measurement is 710. We're going to peg this one here into place, and I'm just going to transfer that measurement along the wall as I go. So that way I'm going to make sure that everything's nice and square by using my wall here as a reference point. So as long as we've got our pegs in place, we can play with our levels later on, up and down. That's not an issue. We just need to make sure that our distance from the wall is going to be nice and square. So I'm going to move straight away over to my joint now. Measure up my distance once again. That's looking pretty good right there. Push it in by hand. I'll double check the measurement and then drive it in using the hammer. So now I've moved over to where my return is going to finish and meet up against the wall. Once again, not too concerned about my levels. I'm just trying to make sure that everything's nice and square for now. So that's looking pretty good right there. Drop that pin in. And I'm going to do the same thing for the corners, and then I'm going to go in and fill in, make sure we've evenly spaced out our brackets. Alright, so now we've got pretty much everything roughly into place. Everything's lined up where I want it to. All I need to do now is just simply lift it up and down and play around with my levels. This one here, I want my grass level to finish pretty much right here. So that's actually looking pretty good where it is right there. Might tap that down just a little bit more. I'll put something underneath this just to hold it temporarily. I'm going to raise this section here up just a little bit. It's looking pretty good there. Once again, you can push a bit of soil underneath that. That'll help support it in the meantime. And then we can tap this one here into place as well. Alright, so this side here is looking pretty good now. That's pretty much where I wanted to finish off. I'm going to repeat the process all the way around. My one is going to be slightly raised above ground level. Probably only just. I might even build up the edge just to completely cover it. But we're going to repeat the process all the way around until we're 100% happy with our levels. Alright, so the garden edging is now all in. This is what it ends up looking like. It's just slightly higher than my actual ground level here, and I'm going to backfill this area in a bit as well. So everything's looking pretty good so far. That didn't take very long at all to do. What I'm going to do now is just level out all the soil that I've got inside the garden bed, and then we're going to get started on digging our holes so I can put my plants in. The plants we're going to be installing are some nice little lavenders here. So the reason why we're going with lavender, I think the purple's going to go really nice up against that white. I've got about 6 or 7 plants here. I'm going to try to space them out evenly across this area. Ideally I'd like to get 7 in. I just want to make it fill in this area as much as possible. That way it won't take too long to grow. So I'll quickly space them out evenly. Alright, so I've squeezed in all 7 plants. I don't know if it looks good in 7 or 6. You guys can let me know in the comment section below, but I'm going to squeeze in all 7, fill up the area much quicker, and it'll grow and mesh into one another. So I've quickly put a little marking here just on the soil. We've got here about 710, so we'll go half of that, about 350. Just line that up there. We've got here 350, and I'll just put a little intersection there, so that's where I'm going to actually dig my hole. So I'm going to go through, mark up all these locations here. You can use spray paint or spray can if you like. Not really much point in this case here. My finger seems to do a pretty good job. Intersect right there. And then I'm going to just use a post hole digger and dig all of these ones here out. Alright guys, so it's starting to get a little bit dark now, so I'm going to have to leave this for tomorrow morning. But unfortunately, we've been hitting some concrete. And as you can tell there, that's a pretty thick slab of concrete. That's why I hate builders. Just bury it all in the ground and hope nobody knows about it. But anyway, it's getting a little bit dark now. I'm going to leave this for tomorrow morning, and I'll see you guys then. Alright guys, so we're back now the following morning. I've got all the holes dug out. I've also put some garden soil in the base of every single hole. That's going to help with drainage once I put in my plants. I've sprinkled a little bit of leftovers that I had on the top and bottom, so you don't need to worry about that. What we're going to be doing now is installing a weed mat. So a weed mat is basically a sheet or a layer that's going to sit between our mulch and our soil. That's going to prevent any weeds from coming up through. So that's a good way to keep the weeds from coming through, especially here we had a grassed area. We're also going to be putting mulch over the top, so that means we're going to really suppress those weeds and grass and make sure they don't go through. Simply lay the sheet or the weed mat straight over the top, cut a little intersection over every single hole, and then we're going to be able to drop our plant straight in through that little gap that we've created. So this is all the weed mat is, just a thin piece of fabric that allows water to go through, but not the weeds. Alright, so now we've got the weed mat over the top. You can put your hand over the top here, feel for the hole, cut a little intersection, Alright, so you can see there we've now got a little hole to drop in our plant. We're going to repeat the process all the way down. Once that's all done, you're ready to start putting in your plants. So we'll take this one here out. I like to just squeeze the sides just a little bit. It'll make it a touch easier to pull them out. Flip it upside down, and then we can drop in our plant. Now make sure you get a bunch of clean soil. In this case we're using the garden mix again. Fill in all the gaps all the way around. Make sure there's no air pockets there. And once that's done, repeat the process all the way along. Alright, so now we've got all of them planted. This is what it's looking like. With the weed mat, what I'm going to do is just simply fold that back, and then I'm going to fill the top section here with some black pine mulch. So a nice simple way to retain the moisture, protect it from weeds, and it's also going to look awesome. Once again, same thing over here. We'll just fold this one here back over itself, and then we'll install our mulch. And once it's all done, this here is the finished product. I'm really happy with the way this one here turned out, especially for the cost and the speed that you can get everything installed. Apart from that little concrete that I hit over here, well, it wasn't very little to be honest, that took up most of the time. But this little edging right here, nice and easy to install. Once again, you can put it up on the face if you like a reveal there, but I think this one here is going to sit nicely at the moment. We've got a little bit of soil still over the grass. So this one here is still yet to push all the way through, but not too bad, guys. All in all, probably about 2 hours worth of work, apart from digging up that concrete once again. But I'm pretty happy with the way this one here turned out. In total, including the plants, I think the plants was the most expensive part, probably about $150 for the lavender, and the rest of it probably cost about $150 as well. So there we have it, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, you've learned something new. As always, guys, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Billshowto.